So what's funny here is when we went to high school, I was the immigrant learning English, and she was the American kid who spoke it fluently, obviously. But today, we completely switched roles. Welcome to Taiwan Mandarin with Mavis. Today's episode is really special. We're chatting with my high school friend Jennifer, who grew up Chinese-American and who's now learning and polishing her Mandarin. And in this interview, we will talk about what inspired Jennifer to learn Mandarin and some funny language struggles that we all have and how it really feels to reconnect with her roots. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Mavis.
Can you say hi to whoever watching this video right now and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I knew Mavis from high school. We were really close friends back then. And I grew up speaking some Mandarin, Taiwanese Mandarin specifically in my family. However, I never really kept up with the practice. I went to Chinese school briefly, but in high school and college, I never kept up with it either. I reached out to Mavis to see if she would help me with my Taiwanese Mandarin so that I can improve on my conversational skills, so I can speak to my parents a lot better.
Yeah, so Jennifer is actually one of the reasons that inspired me to create this channel that you're watching right now. So thanks, Jennifer. Backstory about it is we went to high school together, and she was one of my early English-speaking friends when I first came to the States. So I'm really excited that she's now learning Mandarin. So let's cut to the chase and get into her story, shall we? Let's do this! So do you remember when we first met in high school?
Oh man, I don't exactly remember how we first met, but it's just a little backstory. Mavis is actually 1 year younger than me, so she's a grade level below me. And one of my really good friends back in high school, her name was Vivian. Vivian was the one who introduced to me. And Mavis back then is just as friendly and bubbly as you see her now. So it's really easy to be friends with her, and she's so open to being friends with me as well. And so we just kept in touch back then, and we continue to keep in touch now.
Like I mentioned, Jennifer was one of my very early English-speaking friends at school. So I've always wondered, what did you really think of international students like me who did not even speak any English at all at the time?
I remember how brave you guys were, because we were, 14, 15, 16 years old, super young, and they came to a foreign country not knowing the language very well. And we all both went to a boarding school. I didn't board, but she did. And so to come to a foreign country not knowing a language and having to live here 24/7, be completely immersed in our culture is truly brave and inspiring at the time. And I just thought, I don't know if I could have done it, but they do it so well and they thrive in that environment, which is great.
Honestly, now I think about it, I don't even know how we pull it through, but we did. So can you, whoever that's learning a new language right now. And Jennifer has helped me a lot with English as well back in school, and this is so cool. Now it's kind of like coming into a full circle that I'm helping her with her Mandarin. Jennifer, can you tell us a little bit about your family and your ethnic background and what actually makes you want to learn Mandarin?
I'm an Asian American, Chinese American specifically. I grew up in a household that is pretty multicultural. My parents are born in Thailand, so they're Thai Chinese, and I'm born here, so I'm Chinese American. And in our household, we mainly spoke Mandarin, but more of the Taiwanese Mandarin style as opposed to Mainland Mandarin style. I noticed, especially when it comes to vocabulary, there's some differences between the two. Slight differences, kind of equivalent to British English versus American English. And so I realized that when I look at other YouTubers online, as I'm trying to reclaim or relearn my Mandarin Chinese, they're using a different vocabulary than what I grew up with. And so that's when I made the connection that, maybe my Mandarin style is more Taiwanese style. I kind of grew up both Chinese and a little bit of Thai, but my parents mostly grew up Chinese in a small town in Thailand. And so we kind of grew up mostly culturally Chinese with some Thai sprinkled in. And of course, I bring the American side at home as well. And so in that sense, it's a lot of mixture of Chinese and English, because my parents are also trying to learn English as well as I'm trying to communicate with them in Chinese. So it's kind of broken, which is why I kind of want to clean it up a little bit and have more conversations, like fluid, smooth conversations in Taiwanese Mandarin, as opposed to just how I grew up speaking in my household, which is some Chinese and some English sprinkled in.
So how does it feel like growing up in a multicultural family? Like using all different kinds of languages to communicate with each other?
It's easy in my household because that's kind of how we communicate, where I would speak in Mandarin, Chinese, as much as I can, and if I didn't know the word, then I would use English words instead, and my parents would understand the English words. And so I come with an accent, and it's a mixture. It's not even an accent that's really well known.
It's like a Jennifer accent.
It's like my family accent, more Taiwanese style. And then, of course, my American accent comes in as well. And so it becomes a little bit harder to communicate with people who are Chinese outside of my family. Within my family, we kind of understand each other. That's how we talk, I guess.
So like a sentence can have like different languages, like you're using like English, Chinese, or maybe Thai or other like dialects, like in one sentence, but you still understand each other.
Exactly. I do recall, I think in high school one time, I may have used a Thai word and I thought it was Chinese for some reason. And then I think either you or Vivian, you were like, oh, what is that? I was like, oh, I think that's Thai. I'm sorry. And then, I don't even realize I'm using a Thai word. This is just a mixture.
But that's so cool. Was there a moment when that kind of like make you feel like, oh, I want to actually start learning the language properly? Because I know like, just like based on my experience from seeing like among my friends who are like second, third generations, a lot of them went to like Chinese school or Japanese school or whatever school that they're, for the language that their parents speak. And like in the early days, they hated it. But after a certain time, like as they grew up, like there would be like a moment when they were like, I actually want to learn this language now.
Yeah.
So like, did you have a moment like that?
I was definitely one of those kids growing up who wants to go to school on Saturday. I definitely went to Chinese school on Saturdays and I didn't completely enjoy it. Although I also remember back in that time, so I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley area and there was actually a decent number of Taiwanese Chinese immigrants who lived in that area too. So I remember my teacher was, I think, from Taiwan. And so she taught us Taiwanese Mandarin.
Did you guys use like traditional Chinese and Zhuyin?
We did. We did use Zhuyin. So I learned Bapa Mufa.
That is very hard for kids.
Yeah, but it was really helpful because, and then I also learned traditional written Chinese as opposed to simplified too. And also the vocabulary. So they taught us more of the Taiwanese style vocabulary in Chinese for a lot of the common words. What brought me to try to learn more now than back when I was like in middle school or high school. I think I've always had an interest to continue building and not losing my Mandarin Chinese. It's just I was sort of preoccupied with school at the time or my career. And now that I'm sort of more stable in my career and as I'm getting older too, I'm also noticing like my parents are getting older and they're way more comfortable speaking Mandarin Chinese. And so I wanted to sort of bridge that gap and not only just to keep whatever conversational Chinese I have now, but also build on it. Just because Mandarin Chinese is becoming a lot more prevalent globally, and so I've always had an interest in languages, and I definitely want to build on Mandarin Chinese.
And I feel like for a lot of people, the older we grow, there is like an urge to reconnect with your roots. Just for whatever reasons, you just want to like kind of like reconnect with them. So that's a good motivation. Besides like the Saturday Chinese schools, like what other materials or like resources did you have for learning Mandarin? Like did you self-study? Did you use an app or like did you hire a tutor? Or like how did you do it?
I never hired a tutor, but I did reach out to you because I was hoping that you would be my tutor.
She was asking me like, do you know any Chinese tutors that specifically do like Taiwanese style or traditional Mandarin. And that's part of the reason why I started this channel, because there's not a lot of them.
So I did notice that there isn't that many instructors or tutors who teach specifically Taiwanese Mandarin. I do try to use Duolingo, but that's not to help with the conversation as much as the reading and writing and recognizing characters. So I needed to find another resource to work on the speaking aspect of learning Taiwanese Mandarin. And so that's why I reached out to Mavis. And then I'm really happy that she started this channel, because this is now my current resource into building on what I currently know with my conversational Taiwanese Mandarin.
Jennifer, so one thing I want to clarify here is that I did get comments, like a few comments on like people kind of like angry, like be like, Mandarin is Mandarin, why do you call this Taiwanese Mandarin? Or like, what's wrong with learning like Mandarin from Mainland? There's nothing wrong with it. I've never said anything about like which one's superior or anything. There's nothing like that. It's mainly personal preference. Think about like British versus American English. Like there are different word usages, like different accents, and even like Spanish. There's so many different accents of Spanish. And like Portuguese, there's like European Portuguese and Brazilian. They're like, it's personal preference. People, they want to move to Taiwan or their parents are like Taiwanese. That's why they want to learn this variation. It's not because of any political reasons. Yeah, Mandarin is Mandarin, but you can't deny that there are different accents and different variations. So for this channel, we're mainly teaching Taiwanese Mandarin because that's what I speak. You will still be able to communicate with people who learn a different variation for sure. There's like no problem, but it's just like you might notice a little differences in like accents and words that we use differently.
I've had comments like, oh, are you from Taiwan? I was like, no, I'm born in the US, but the way I speak and the accent I carry kind of may give them clues as to what region I was coming from, and context plays a huge role too. So the way you speak and the words that you use in a context, they completely understand.
Pros and cons for beginners in learning this language, I would say like it's a lot easier to start with like pinyin and also simplified Chinese when you're like just beginning. Most of us know like English letters, so like that's just a lot easier than like learning Zhuyin and traditional characters. But pronunciation-wise, it might be easier to learn the Taiwanese variation because we just don't do a lot of like curling all the time. Like it sounds very flat, so it's a lot easier for people to pick up, especially when you're new to the language. So that's my take on it. I'm also curious about what your parents' reactions are like when they know that you're actually learning their native tongue.
I didn't really like outwardly tell them like, oh, I'm trying to learn more formally. I just told them, oh, I just want to speak more fluidly, all in Chinese and not mix too many English words in there. And they're pretty happy with it. They're like, oh, it's really good for you. You know, it's good that you know how to speak our language better, and it's also like more global, so it'll help you in your career perhaps. And to them, I think they also realize that communicating in the native language also builds us culturally closer, because there's a lot of nuances, tones, words that can't be directly translated to English. And so the feeling and meaning can be better conveyed in the native tongue or the native language. Like the feeling behind the words when we talk, it just connects. It just like, I don't know, the vibe is different when I speak mostly in Chinese than if I just speak in English completely.
Was there any surprise when they found out, or like they were like, you hated it when you were little, why are you like learning this like all of a sudden, or like they were supportive, right?
Oh yeah, they're supportive. I think they always knew that kids don't like to go to school on Saturdays, so they completely understand that like kids just don't want more homework. But I think I've always tried to speak as much Mandarin Chinese as possible with them, like even after I've left home and moved out for college and work, etc. And so I don't know if it was as much of a surprise, but this time there seems to be more intent. The other thing is that's also helpful is that my sister and I got really into Chinese dramas. So we are
That's a huge motivation.
Yeah, it's such a huge motivation just because like Chinese, fluent Chinese language speakers, they speak very quickly. And so it's kind of hard to keep up with.
So do any native speakers of every language.
Yes. And just in my experience, I noticed that and this is just my opinion, each Chinese character convey a lot more meaning. And so there needs to be less words spoken to convey that meaning. And so when I read subtitles, there's like a paragraph in English when, you know, in Chinese, when it's spoken, it's like maybe 1 or 2 sentences.
You're like, why is this a 5-paragraph essay when they literally like said 3 words?
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, oh, if I want to just be able to go through these 50-episode Chinese dramas, I need to like be more familiar with listening to Chinese as opposed to just constantly reading the subtitles.
Right, that makes total sense. That's exactly why I learned Japanese, is like J-pop, like Japanese manga and animations and all that. And that's how I started learning Korean as well, like K-dramas, K-pop. Good motivation, like culturally. So I really love the fact that when we first met, you were helping me with English, and now I'm helping you with Mandarin.
Yeah, it feels like a full circle moment.
So when you are learning Mandarin, what do you find easiest about learning Mandarin for you?
I think once I discovered more about the Taiwanese Mandarin style, I realized it's easier for me because I have exposure to it from growing up. So I can just kind of continue where I left off or build on what what I currently have in my vocabulary, and especially in hearing the tones and the subtle tones. So that I feel like I have an easier time than a completely pure beginner to the language. I think what I struggle more with now is to break my bad habits, which is to use English words when I don't know the Chinese words for it. And another bad habit is I revert back to the vocabulary that I really know. And so I have a harder time using newer vocabulary that I'm learning now. And also with Chinese grammar, it's pretty similar to English grammar, but not always. And so to learn the new grammatical styles, I have a hard time integrating that to my current speaking style. Because again, I am very comfortable with my family's way of speaking Taiwanese Mandarin, and less on the more classic or correct way of speaking Taiwanese Mandarin outside of my family. So yeah, the challenge is really to push myself to use it correctly and to increase my vocabulary and not go back to my comfort zone where I speak how I normally speak with my parents.
Okay, so you already have the advantage of being in a Chinese-speaking household, so it's easier for you to distinguish the tones. Because I feel like that's one of the hardest part for most beginners. It's the tones. Like for me, it's like it comes natural, right? Like ma, 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 ma. But a lot of people are like, they sound the same to me. But like that would be easy for you since you're kind of like you're very familiar and used to just like how these tones sound.
It's easier. I still struggle with the tone. Yeah, it's still
so if you're struggling, don't fret. Even she, living in a Chinese-speaking household, is struggling too.
Yes.
Have you ever had any moments when you were like, okay, I'm done with this language. I want to give up. I don't want to, learn this anymore. I don't want to study anymore.
I have not given up because I'm kind of going on my own pace.
Good job.
And I have that personal motivation with my parents. Like I call them every week, and so we speak Chinese with each other as much as possible. I also still continue to watch Chinese dramas, and there's that motivation as well. But I do get like tired or just maybe exhausted because it's hard to learn a new language consistently. So I would say being consistent is probably the most challenging aspect. So I probably slow down if I feel like I just need a break. And then I'll speed up again once I feel like I have more energy to take on more time or more ways to learn the language just at a faster pace.
There was never a moment where you, even just like a thought that was just like, okay, I'm done with this.
No, because like it's part of me and it's in my culture, it's in my roots too. So I don't think I could ever give it up or escape from it. But I do have that privilege or that background where I am Chinese, and so it's not like something that I'm without ever in my life. Like you could see it on my face. So I can't.
I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
But for anyone watching, like it's okay to have that thought, like I'm done with this, because I've had that thought for like Japanese and Korean before. But it's okay to have that thought. But as long as you come back to it later, like we all have burnouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like keep it aside for a while, take a break, and come back to it later. You're good.
And your videos will live online forever. And
yes,
so I can
come back to my channel anytime. I'll be here. So what do you think are the benefits of learning Mandarin and your parents' native language?
I think the biggest benefit is that I get more exposure and maybe to some extent access to another community. So I live in Seattle, Washington, so there's a big Chinese community out there as well. And it's different when I speak with Chinese natives in English versus in Mandarin. There seems to be a lot, like a quicker bond or trust built, just even trying, even though I'm not that fluent. I think there's an appreciation for trying to speak their language and understanding their culture on a deeper level through language. And so that definitely is a benefit, and it's a huge advantage when I want to make friends in a new city that I moved into. Different perspectives and ways of thinking as well. And so learning to connect through language, I get to understand a little bit about how my parents think. I think there is that connection with how people grow up Chinese and thinking in Chinese versus growing up American and thinking in English.
So has like learning Mandarin changed how you think of yourself, like your identity as Chinese American?
Yeah, absolutely. I think growing up, I focused more on trying to assimilate or be like the same as the American kids in school or the American culture. And so I try my best to maybe like put aside the multicultural side of me and try to really embrace the American side. Just because I grew up in America, I went to American schools, English.
And also we're older, like back in our times, I would say like diversity wasn't much as big as like today.
Yeah.
So like you want to be part of the
norm,
community,
right.
the norm.
Yes, and so like any differences stick out a lot more because multicultural media isn't as prevalent back then, and so there's not as much exposure to Asian cultures and Asian media in general as we do today.
Right. And so have you like caught yourself maybe like thinking differently when you're like thinking in English versus like Mandarin?
Yeah, definitely. Just because of the way the vocabulary and the phrases and it's not just the words or even the tone, it's the way you speak it. And the body language is different than English and speaking English. So there's like a bit of an attitude behind the words and the conversations too that connects me with other speakers. There's like that sort of soft understanding. It's hard to explain, but there's this sort of soft understanding of what you mean when you say certain things in a certain way in Chinese versus in English.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I found myself curse a lot more in English and also Taiwanese than in Mandarin. Because just like, if you know Mandarin, it's like Mandarin just doesn't have like very strong words to convey that feeling and emotion when you need to curse. So when I curse, I tend to do it in English and Taiwanese Hokkien. So, yeah.
Oh, that's also a really good reminder. So in high school, Mavis would teach me all the curse words that I don't learn.
That's the first thing you learn when you learn a new language, right? Like I don't know Spanish, but I know how to tell people to shut up.
Yes, absolutely. And it was really fun to be able to like speak secretly. It's like a secret language when we were in high school where the teachers don't understand us and we can kind of freely express ourselves without having to whisper. And so that kind of connects me to you guys more too, which I thought was fun. And I think it still can be applied today where you can kind of speak openly and freely, not to like insult other people, but
just don't do it because a lot of people are like multilingual.
Yeah.
You never know if someone in front of you actually speaks your language.
Exactly. But if you want a little bit more privacy, you know, it's nice to know Chinese or Spanish or French or another language that is not the main language in your environment. And so that's like privacy, embedded privacy without having to go to a corner somewhere.
Yeah, and I just found it amazing that we kind of like think differently when we're like thinking in a different language, just based on the culture and everything. So like it kind of gives you a different perspective on the same thing when you're like thinking in a different language. So that's really cool. I know that you're watching like Chinese movies and dramas and stuff. Like, is there anything that you recommend, or like a phrase or anything like that really sticks with you?
In terms of music, so I've been listening more to Mandarin, Taiwanese, Mandarin, Chinese music. So I like Taiwanese artists like Eric Cho. I think he's pretty famous, but I also like...
Is that Zhou Xingzhu?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, exactly.
I know them by their Chinese names.
He also speaks English really well. So.
I think he's Taiwanese-American.
Okay, that makes sense because he has some English-based, purely English songs as well. And then I also just like the hits too. I try to on Spotify. Jay Chou.
Zhou Jielun.
Yes, but he's hard to listen to because when he raps in Chinese, I cannot capture it.
It's okay. Even native speakers like me don't understand what he's like singing. I doubt he does himself, so that's okay. Yeah. That's his like very unique style.
I stream it on Spotify. It's very accessible on Spotify too.
So if there's like one Mandarin song that you have to recommend to our audience, what would that be?
There's this really famous Taiwanese singer. I forgot her name, but basically her music was featured on Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I have to Google that.
The Tian Mi Mi, that song. What's her name?
That is a classic.
Yes.
That is a very, very classic song. That's like from before my mom.
Yeah. It's like my parents' generation or older.
Yeah.
But she's she is classic and she continues to go through the generation.
You'll probably hear it in like Chinese restaurants, playing in the background
but also,
a lot, like mom and pop style restaurants.
Yeah, but I think her song was also featured in Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay, and a lot of artists have done like their own covers and editions of the song. So if you're interested, 甜蜜蜜 by 邓丽君 is the song to go.
Yeah.
And for me, I would recommend something more modern. 周杰伦, you can search 可爱女人. It's if like you do like a direct translation, it'd be like adorable women. So like the lyrics is really simple, especially for beginners. The tune is amazing and it's just a very nice song. So if you're interested in kind of like get into like Mandarin pop, 甜蜜蜜 is not really a pop song, it's an oldie. It's a classic.
Yes.
And then 周杰伦可爱女人, it's 25 years old already. It's from like 2000.
Oh, there is one song
but it's still good. Check out the description box. I'll leave it there. All right, so moment of truth. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your Chinese proficiency?
I would say also on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is where I'm just like super beginner versus 10 super fluent. I would probably optimistically say I'm around 3 or 4.
You're being very humble.
I think I'm a 3 or 4 here, but if I like plot myself in China or Taiwan, I think I could advance much quicker.
True. When you're in the environment, you're forced to use the language, you learn a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So do you have a goal like next year? Do you want to be maybe out of 5 or like what is your goal?
My goal, honestly, my life goal is just to take a year off and live in Taiwan or even like Malaysia or Singapore where I think more of the Taiwanese style Mandarin may be more prevalent down there and just completely speak in Mandarin Chinese.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then get to a 5 or a 6 in that environment. But I feel like it's really difficult to do that here.
But that's doable when you're like in the actual environment of like complete like Chinese
I think so.
environment. Yeah. Okay. I have to ask this because I've had so many of these moments. Do you have like maybe like a funny or most embarrassing moment when you make like a Mandarin mistake?
Yeah, I definitely have said a word in the wrong tone and had expressed a completely different meaning.
Completely.
Yes.
What was the word if you remember?
Oh God, I don't remember. There's just so many. The other thing that I noticed more recently is that my mom would correct the way to say something. Because sometimes I think in English and translate to Chinese in my head, and then I would translate a phrase that I think in English directly into Chinese, and that's not the right way to express that meaning. And so that's not like really embarrassing, but it'd be more embarrassing if I said it outside of my family, and then they're just like, they won't correct me out of politeness, but it would come off weird.
Okay. As a language learner, like don't be shy to make mistakes because we all do. That's also like how you learn from your mistakes when someone actually corrects you, like your mom does. Right?
Yes.
I'm just curious, like if there is a Mandarin word or phrase that you think will be useful or handy to know.
Yeah, I think so. Mavis, you taught me this in high school, and I still remember.
I don't remember it, but
and still use it. And I think that's because you guys use it amongst yourselves too. Is 加油, which is it's very weird when you translate it to English.
Right, it's like add oil.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, so in that sense, like to say add oil doesn't convey the same feeling or meaning. But 加油 in Chinese is like a cheering word, like it's like a supportive, like, you know, good for you, we support you, you know, good luck, kind of.
Yeah, I think the equivalent in English would be good luck. So in English, like we tell people to have good luck when they're about to, you know, take a test or do something important. But in Mandarin, we say 加油. It's more like, if you want the meaning of it, like direct translation would be like add oil, which makes zero sense. But the meaning behind it is actually more like put in the effort. So instead of like having good luck, we want you to put in the effort to, you know, take your test or, you know, like start a new job. So that's what when we use it as similar to like good luck.
Yes.
And I would say like if you know Korean, it's like the Korean fighting.
Yes.
Or like himne, and Japanese would be like gabbate. So similar like in Asian languages, it's more like, you know, put in the effort.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one to know. 加油 is when you want to like cheer someone up or like tell them good luck. Just use this word 加油.
Yeah.
That's a very good one, and thank you for remembering that.
Oh, when we take exams and we're about to take exam, I remember you would say like 加油, you can do it, you know, so very appropriate in school.
Yeah, so 加油 when you're learning Mandarin. For like all those like countless funny moments, what I learned is that when I was in Japan, when someone says something that I don't understand, like in Japanese, I just smile. I'm like,
yeah.
90% of the time it works.
Yeah.
Like people, you know, like it just works. But then there were like times when people were like, why are you smiling? Why are you laughing?
Yes.
And you're just like awkwardly like smiling.
I definitely had those moments. I think like in high school, you guys speak very quickly. And so maybe I captured 30% of what you said. And then Mavis is just so friendly and so inclusive. She'll be like, do you understand everything? And I would totally lie. I'll be like, yeah. And then she'll be like, okay, so then, you know, you'll follow up with a question and then I'll just be like, huh? And I totally get caught on my lie.
I think that's what we do with like, even in Mandarin, when someone talk to me something like I didn't hear, I'll just smile.
Yeah.
Okay.
The smile and nod, just so that, you know, like.
I heard you, but I probably don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, right.
90% of the time.
Yeah, because you don't want to like ruin the vibe, right? You just want to keep the conversation flowing, and I don't want to feel like I'm like holding anyone back.
Or like keep saying like, excuse me, can you say that again?
Exactly, yeah, because I feel guilty being a student all the
But you should do that. When you're learning a language, I would recommend like I would suggest like if you really don't understand something and like the person you're talking to is your friend or something, obviously not like a sales associate or something that you don't want to bother them too much. Feel free to ask like, hey, can you say that again? What does that mean? Yeah. As a language learner yourself, what would be your pieces of advice for people who are watching this channel, whether they're learning their family's language or they're just like learning a new language out of personal interest, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, if there's no time constraint, like you're not planning to go to China or Taiwan or another Chinese-speaking country, I would say be gentle with yourself, take your time, go at your own pace. And because consistency is key, but sometimes being consistent is really hard. Like I have trouble with being consistent. So just keep it up and go at your own pace and try to find, because it's not a linear process for me. So sometimes I jump in and out and I use different resources. Sometimes I use Duolingo when, you know, I don't want to listen to another YouTube video because I listen to so many YouTube videos at once. So I'll jump in and out of different platforms. If you can find a friend to speak the language with, that is super helpful because you're teaching each other, especially if this friend is more fluent than you, they can definitely help you, like my parents helped me. Yeah, I think that would be the best advice for myself, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys as well.
Summarize what you said is just like, you know, take your time, right? And feel free to pause if you need to. Like consistency is great, but when you feel like you're a little burned out, like feel free to take a break.
Yeah.
The language is always here. My channel is always here. So feel free to come back later.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very good piece of advice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Are there any other languages that you would like to learn beyond Mandarin?
Definitely Spanish. So I grew up in Southern California and I took 4 years of high school Spanish. And I did not continue learning Spanish throughout college and after college. So I definitely want to revisit Spanish as well. It's also a very prevalent language in California and
around the world.
And
like
around
so
the world.
many Spanish speakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my biggest regrets, like if I could go back to high school and tell my high school self one thing is actually would be like, you know, take up on that Spanish class. Well, I started here in 9th grade, and then we all had like second language requirement, right? I think for us it was like either French or Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah, so at the time I spoke zero English. So I was like thinking like, you know, when you're younger, you really like, you don't have as much like faith in yourself. I was thinking like, how am I supposed to learn both English and Spanish using English materials, a language that I didn't even speak?
Yeah.
So like, I was like, okay, so the workaround for me was I was fluent in Mandarin, right? So I took a SAT 2 test in Chinese. Oops. Okay, so I took an SAT 2 test in Chinese. So like there was a threshold like as long as we hit certain points, we will just like waive the second language requirement. So I actually got like 790 out of 800. I missed 10 points because it was like simplified Chinese. There was a word that's used in China that I didn't know what that meant. So anyways, so and that was my biggest regret. Like up to this day, like if I could go back to high school and tell myself, I would be like, take that Spanish course, because like I know like after 4 years of Spanish, it's not like we're gonna be fluent, but at least we know the basics, right?
Yeah.
And so like have faith in yourself. So I want to tell everyone who's watching right now, like start anytime if you want to learn something new. Like even if it's not the optimal period of time of learning something, but you can always start like right now.
Yeah, I would argue that there's way more resources to learn a new language.
Exactly.
Because of social media. I mean, the internet we're older, and so we didn't grow up with a lot of social media.
I used a paperback dictionary back then, okay? Nowadays, they'd be like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like AirPods that will directly translate to a different language for you.
And all those like native audio and stuff, you can really learn the pronunciation.
Yeah. So I feel like now is the peak moment to take
anytime it's like now is the best time to start learning.
Yes. Yeah.
Alrighty, so I want to take the time to thank you for joining us today, for sharing your experience in learning your parents' native language, which is Mandarin. I probably have not said this before. I want to thank Jennifer for being my friend when I absolutely spoke zero English. It's not easy for like a kid to befriend someone who doesn't even understand what you're talking about, right?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching today. If you are also learning the language, whether it's for reconnecting with your roots or you're just out of your personal interest, feel free to share your story in the comments with us. I love hearing like all your stories. Bye, 下次见.
Something that happened yesterday even, where I said something, but it was not like the right way of saying it in Chinese. It was just a translation from English, and I can't remember that example.
You know what Landon, like Vivian's kid, like always says, like, so when you say like I can do something, like because I went before when I was like talking to him on the phone, like I have really bad signal, like the reception was not good, and he wanted to say like I can hear you, and he just said like 我不能听到. It makes sense like in English, like grammatically. I mean, I understand it in Mandarin, but then more naturally we'll say like 我听不到. But he will always use like the English grammar, like 我不能听到.
Yes.
We understand it, but it just doesn't sound as natural.
I do
it's
that,
like 我听不到.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.